I'm here with Dr. Daniela Ferrara. She is the queen of AI. I think you've been pioneering this before it was even cool. I mean, this is like 10 years in the making, 15 years in the making. Daniela, I'll be honest, when I would see AI on a session at a meeting, that was my time to leave the session, to have a meeting, to grab a cup of coffee. But I think AI has come a long way, thanks to people like you. It's more approachable. I think there's more data, there's training around it. So now I really can't afford to be behind. I have to sit there and I have to look at what's coming, how AI is being applied. You led a great session. First of all, congrats. She's an advisory board member for OIS 14. You guys put a lot of work into it. I want to thank you. This is fantastic in terms of attendance, content, everything. So congrats to you.
It's teamwork, but thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I want to talk to you a little bit about your session and AI. What is the general impact of AI? Is that in clinical trials? Like I said, it's more approachable. But how is it being played out in the real world?
Well, great question, by the way, and I want you to know I share your struggles with the technology itself. I'm a user. So one of the pieces that I love the most is I learn every day from the brilliant scientists on the team that are helping me as a user to understand and become more comfortable with the technology. And like any new technology, it is a little bit overwhelming and intimidating at first. But if you think about it, healthcare is probably the last sector of economy to embrace AI at this level. So everything we do every day, to some extent, is touched by AI at some point. But back to your question, how AI is changing drug development. Again, going back to the memory lane, like you're inviting us, a few years ago, it felt like wishful thinking. So we had big challenges to address in drug development, and we know clinical trials, they are lengthy, they are large, they're expensive. The success rate of molecules, it's very low, and patients are waiting. And for ophthalmology, we know patients are going blind as we speak. So many years ago, when our program was launched and several other programs in other different groups worldwide have been launched using AI in drug development as well.
And when you say your program, can you define it a little bit for maybe people who are not familiar with it?
Sure, yes. So we have the ophthalmology imaging program in my organization at Genentech and Roche. We have advanced analytics and medical imaging to mine our data sets and to help us improve drug development. And we are learning from historical clinical trials and using that scientific exploration to design new clinical trials. Patient selection, inclusion-exclusion criteria, study design, endpoints, power calculation, you name it.
Well, I mean, Genentech is known to be just first class in terms of development, and you're not just keeping it at Genentech. You're also, letting others collaborate with you as well, which could help again, just in terms of access and helping the community in general is really important. Yeah.
Thank you for the remark. I think I'm very grateful. I think this is a characteristic of my organization. We are committed to sharing with the ophthalmology community what we learn. We always publish our trial results, positive or negative, and you're right. I think our pipeline of algorithms now, it's focused in the diseases that we have molecules addressing to, so exudative macular diseases, neovascular AMD, dry AMD, geographic atrophy, intermediate AMD, and diabetic eye disease. But you're right. I think one of our most robust suite of algorithms started 10 years ago from the lampalizumab clinical trial data. So you're right. I'm proud that we are committed to share our learnings with the ophthalmic community.
Excellent. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit. We talked about clinical trials and how AI is potentially accelerating the development strategy for an organization. in terms of real world settings, how is it being applied like in a clinic? Like my first experience kind of talking about AI was when I was working with a company in DR.
Yes.
You know, kind of, and that came up today in the GA talk as well,
Yes.
using AI to kind of, you know, in terms of progression. So, but obviously have to hear from you. Where is this being applied in a clinical setting?
Well, great question. We know in the United States there are 3 FDA-approved devices. They are all in diabetic retinopathy. The output of those devices helps us to identify patients that have what's called referable diabetic retinopathy or not. It's a step, an important step towards introducing AI in clinical practice. That being said, when you look at the research setting, that's where we have so much innovation because it's a controlled environment that patient safety is taken care of at all times. So it's in that research space that we have been seeing so much innovation now. And back to geographic atrophy, that I agree was fantastic panel today. Endpoint or clinical assessments such as ellipsoid zone analysis, it cannot be done by a human.
Yeah.
So it's AI, to your earlier point, it is mandatory if you're looking to the science from that perspective. And very soon this is going to be implemented much more broadly.
Well, thanks for making this foreign language of AI more approachable and more realistic. It's like I said, the work that you've been doing for the last decade or more as I think you must be enjoying this space because it's more approachable, it's more applicable. We're appreciating it now. And I think just a little bit about your personality, you know, you're just absolutely brilliant and also one of the nicest people. So I think you probably make it more approachable as well. So, but thank you so much for both a fantastic OIS as well and for sitting down with me.
Well, thank you and congratulations. OIS once again has been a big success. Thank you.